Hi, it's Bradley from the Daily Clatter, and today we're going to be changing the headlights on my 2008 Chrysler Sebring.
One, two, three, four.
Hello everybody, this is Jerry. I'm helping my son replace his foggy headlights on his Sebring. As you can see, they've got the dullness in the lenses here. He wants to keep everything looking good, and I understand that. Sometimes you just don't know what you get into when you buy something, but we have to drop the bumper in order to get these headlights out. So bear with us, we're gonna get through this and get some new eyeballs on this car. We gotta take some of these retaining clips out here. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then we got to loosen these bolts up to get this loosened up to get away from the car in order to get the bumper pulled down. So we're going to start. What we're going to do here is we're going to pry the inner cap up, then pull the center post out. There you go. There you go. Then go ahead and put that in a bucket over there behind you. Then he's going to pinch the bottom side together to pull the actual socket out and show what that looks like, how you got to squeeze that together to get that out. All right, so we're gonna remove the rest of them that we talked about earlier, and we'll come right back. So this one gave us a little trouble, so we had to drill the center out. It was just stuck in there, so now we're ready to pull this side out. We're gonna remove these bolts with a socket wrench. So Bradley's removing the front bolt that holds the grill on. All the bolts and the retain clips are free. You can see that Bradley is able to wiggle the front grill so it's away from the frame right now. Turn the wheels to the right to expose the bolts to get to the wheel well to loosen the fasteners for the bumper. So Bradley's going to loosen up the bumper using a 7mm socket. So on the driver's side here, up inside this hole here, there was another 7/16 bolt. You got to get a socket in there, a socket wrench in there to loosen it up. You can see right here where it fastened. But that was a little bit the most difficult bolt we got, but we managed to get it. Okay, now that both sides are unfastened, Bradley was able to pull the bumper away from the frame of the car. And now we're able to expose the bolts for the headlights. So we're ready to disassemble the headlights to pull them out to put the new ones in. So you can see that we got it loose here. And we're ready to rock and roll and put some new eyeballs in this car. I think that's enough clearance to get to the bolts. So I think we're in good shape here. Then once we get the new headlights in, we'll reassemble. Bradley's loosening up the first bolt on the headlight, and we're at what is the millimeter on that socket, Bradley? So we can what does that show?
5/16.
We're using a 5/16 socket to get the first bolt out, pretty long for the headlight here. So I believe there's 3 or 4 bolts that hold this thing in. Next bolt that Bradley's going to undo is on the bottom here. You can see it way back there. He's loosening that one up. It's in there pretty deep. He needed to put a extension on the ratchet to get to it. Bradley's now loosening the bolt on the side of the headlight. It's kind of deep in there. Make sure you don't drop it into the wheel well. Probably use your fingers at this point. According to the replacement headlight, which we have here, it looks like we only have three large fasteners in the side one here. So that's what we're hoping for. Now Bradley's loosening up the 4th bolt that's holding the headlight in. It's kind of deep in there, so he has to hold back the plastic grill to get in there. And he had, of course, use an extension on the ratchet. I believe that's the last bolt. To wrestle to get this thing out of where it was sitting. But you have also 3 cables on the back. So we had this particular one here, and what you had to do is take a flathead screwdriver and kind of lift those up to pull those off the socket here. Just lightly do it. Some of this stuff may be dry rotted or old, and you might crack that, so be careful with that. So there's 3, 2 of the same kind. Then you had this situation here where you had to pull this button up, goes up and down, then you press that in to pull it out. Fairly easy to get the connectors off, but we had a hard time wrestling to get the headlight out of the hole here. So removing the driver's side one, we got to be careful that we don't pull on the wires in the back. It's kind of hard to get it out of the bottom tray. Got to wrestle with it a little bit. Watch your, there you go. So you can see that we got the 3 connectors on the back. I'm going to have to put down the camera and give them a hand. Get this driver's side headlight out. We notice that Bradley's battery is underneath the headlight behind the fender here. So in order to replace the battery, what we'd have to do is do the same thing. Drop the bumper and take out the headlight to get it out. What a poor design. Okay, we've got them both installed. We're checking all the lights. It's looking good. I think we're going to be good on this job. What do you think?
Good.
Just good? Now let's reassemble the bumper and call it a day. It's Sunday. So Bradley's now on the passenger side, reassembling the bumper to the fender. Well, after that, we'll put all the fasteners back on the grill area here. Of course, I think there was like 7 fasteners and 2 screws. You can see that a new improvement over the headlights, nice and clean, non-faded or fogged up. They look awesome. So we discussed about the pitch of the headlights, the way the beam throws out. So that's a discussion for a different day. Right now we just replaced the headlights, and we'll see how close we got it to the original manufacturer specs and go from there. I'm sure that they may probably need adjusting at some point here. So okay, so Bradley's doing the final bolt here. Bradley, how much did you pay for these replacement lights?
I think it was 125 for both.
125 for both. The beautify the car again. Was it worth it? You never know what you're getting into when you buy a part. You may have to take out additional items to get the replacement, but this job wasn't too bad. I kind of cringed a little bit when I read that you had to drop the bumper, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. What'd you think?
It was okay. It was $136.
$136 for both? Mm-hmm. And it came with light bulbs. So we got 2 brand new headlights, brand new light bulbs in it, a little bit of labor. What would you rate this job out of 1 through 5? I'd say about a 2. About a 2? Mm-hmm. So if I was going to rate this job, it'd be a difficulty of 2. The thing that we're thinking about right now is the pitch of the headlights since we replaced them. Will the beams be throwing in the right direction, up or down, or too high or too low? So that's something we have to mow over. But all in all, everything's worked out fine. We're going to clean up, pack up, and call it a day.
I'm Bradley from the Daily Clatter. If you've yet to subscribe, please do. And also ring that bell. I'm out of here.